Hello and welcome to this review of the EMMA 3.0 by Roll Road. Um, I wouldn't have found this location if it weren't for this bike. I do have a bike and I do, ride around the radius of where I live, but a big theme of this bike for me um, is that it's comfortable, it's really gentle on the terrain, and it's quiet. And it's allowed me to go out on night rides after work and explore new roads and find a river and actually do something I didn't expect to be doing, which is I really enjoy exercising on the bike. I'll pedal it. And that's not part of the review that I thought would be a factor, but it really has a lot of things going for it. I really consider this a very practical family vehicle. We have a longtail e-cargo bike that's highly customized, and that we have almost 3,000 miles on, going to town and back here in Vermont. And I bought this because of what I knew about that bike. It was a hardtail. I wanted something very comfortable, and I wanted that moped that I had back in, I think, the 90s, or 20 years ago, that 1970s Motorbican. They had little two-cycle engines on them. Well, this bike is a lot more than that in a lot of ways. It's actually, it's got a really, well, I really like the frame. You either like the design or you're not, you don't, but with the 24-inch seat, it really gives you like a weighted, grounded vehicle feel, and it unwinds its power slowly. You have over 2 kilowatt hours of power. So this huge reservoir, and then it's all funneled through a relatively conservative 27, 28 amp controller. So I imagine that energy coming through and almost hitting like a large water wheel that's picking up speed slowly. That's exactly what this does. And so I'd say the bike is really just about, it's an odd contradiction, because from the front, it looks kind of tough and monstrous, and it is rugged, but the 4-inch tires and the controller and the motor in combination with the suspension, yes, I think the real theme, the real thing about this bike is that it's gentle on you, it's gentle on the terrain. I mean, I can ride this bike in my yard and it doesn't rip up the grass, it floats. It's really designed to float. And you'll notice that as you drop off a sidewalk onto the road, ka-bum-bum, it just takes it. It absorbs it nicely. And between that and the tires, that's really where this is strong. It's not a ripper. It's not going to climb you a hill for you. It can't dump enough power. I mean, the nominal wattage is 1,500 watts, so this motor should never overheat. I'd like to just clarify here that this bike will absolutely climb hills, rolling hills, things like this. This bike really does well at. It's a cruising bike. What it isn't made for, and because of this 28 amp controller, it cannot drop a lot of current. You have the 54 volts, the nominal 54 volts, and the 28 amps, which puts you around 1440, 1500 watts to this 1500 watt nominal motor. But where this bike really shines is when it's allowed to really unleash that power. So if you're from a dead stop and you're pointed up a hill, dumping enough power into this motor, even though all the equipment is great on this bike, it just can't deliver enough power to be a ripper, to be a type of bike to just like send you up hills. It needs you to unwind that power. And I don't think this is a bad thing. I actually think it makes it an easier ride for people who haven't been on a bike of this weight before in this moped class. And I think once you get to know your terrain and the bike, it will do what you want it to, and it will give you the power that you want. Just don't buy it if you live in a really steep, hilly area and expect it to do all the work for you without, slowing way down. So be realistic about that, but this is definitely a powerful bike. It's letting its power out slowly, but the numbers on the bike, it will keep pushing you till through 33, 30, I'd say between 33 and 37, but I've had it keep pushing me to 40 miles an hour. So in town, in places where there are other people, I tend to just use it like a bike so I don't confuse people, because it's bulky, but when you sit on it, you'll see the frame is very simple. So I don't think it's too chunky. And the beauty of the torque sensor is if I'm back on these trails behind me that I needed to take to get to this road, you can just pedal slowly and it'll just dump, 100, 150, 200 watts to the motor. You're getting a little exercise, but you're really in control of the bike in a way that only a bike like this can give you, because it's loaded, like it's loading its suspension already. The frame itself has weight, and because of this long seat, this saddle style seat, you can feel the bike between you, which I think grounds you through the bike, and makes you feel more connected. So it's 110, 115 pounds, but I really like everything about it, honestly. For me, the beauty of it is you can exercise with this bike, and then when you're ready, you just throttle it and you get the breeze and you just cool down. And so it seems very complete after a ride. And with some inexpensive saddlebags, I think as a grocery hauler, just like we do with our utility bike, I have done 150 miles, and a lot of those included getting milk and fruit and carrots. And so in this way, I think it's incredibly practical. The crate they supply is wonderful. I mean, there's a fellow who posted a thing where you could fit a cooler inside it, and it looks very practical. But I've learned over the years of using e-bikes for just getting things done, that the saddlebags for me work really well. The underbar mirror is perfect. I don't know if this is your style or not, but for us, just the single under on the mirror is great. The lighting package, I found this road last night only because kids were all set and I had some escape time, and I went out for a ride and found my way to this beautiful river only a few miles from my house. And it was because I trusted the lighting. The lighting is actually really wonderful. The brake light looks kind of futuristic and awesome, I think. The front is plenty of light. In fact, I tilt it down slightly because I don't want to beam anyone with it. But yeah, I mean, this is really the bike that I had been looking for. I bought my son the EMMA 2.0, which has a 1,000-watt motor, and he uses it for work and for getting to school. And I put Michelin Grip 2 motorcycle tires on that. So to get to the tires, yeah, these are the CST Scouts. This is a big part of your suspension and why you can roll through your lawn or on almost any terrain, and you can barely track it. It rides so soft on the terrain. And that's important for how it gets traction on trails. I think the rubber actually flexes to give you traction. And so this is not the tire you want to do, say 40 miles an hour, to carve into a turn. You cannot, even at 30 pounds of pressure, their max, the tire doesn't have structure like a motorcycle tire. If it deflates, it's going to deflate. Motorcycle tire has actual material, has bones, it has structure to it that'll keep its shape. So that is the one thing is, yeah, you can go pretty fast on this bike. It'll wind itself out and give you quite a bit of speed. I've gone 41 miles an hour on it, but the conditions are just perfect for it to really let out all those watts. It is a heavy bike that actually is an asset to it, that it winds out smoothly, brakes work great, and it's really about the comfort of that package. Well, case in point, as far as what this bike has really delivered is, I didn't know about this boat launch either. This is a few miles up the road, but decided to explore over here. Again, the beauty of the tires is they are so floaty. They barely leave tracks, even in the sand, much less the grass. And it's quiet, and I got a little exercise, and now I'm at this part of the river here, this little inlet. There's a bridge up the road, and yeah, this is really what this bike has done for me, and I hope it'll do for you if you have some open road around you or some places to explore. The saddlebags, I think, actually would work great because they do slip under the long seat, and I do love the long seat. To try to sum everything up, I would just say you know, buy it because you're looking for that heavier step up from an e-bike. You know, you really need to love the frame and the kind of rugged, heavy nature of this type of bike. And I know it seems, I don't know if it's a subtle language distinction, but I really feel like it's in the vehicle category. It's a personal or family vehicle. And I think that's really what you're getting is something with a lot of power, and something that lets that power out smoothly. So thanks for joining me, and good luck on your search. And I think this is a great option for all the reasons I mentioned. So yeah, thanks so much. Bye-bye.